Welcome back to Still a Part of Us. We are here today with Shermica, and she told us such a beautiful story of her son's eye. And so many things came up for me, and I really enjoyed listening to her tell her story of her sweet sigh, her perfect little sigh. And so grateful that we were able to be a witness to that story. So, welcome back, Shermica. Thank you so much for sharing your heart, sharing your story of your son that you lost. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And as a recap for everybody, can you tell us what happened to Sai, what week he passed away, and what happened to him?
Zai was stillborn at 39 weeks and 3 days
Mhm.
due to my placenta not functioning in the end as it should.
Yeah. And at the time of this recording, how long ago was he born?
He was 8 months ago since
Yeah.
he was
So
stillborn.
that is going to lend to our little bit of our conversation now, because there's quite a bit of a difference. I think people who have listened to our episodes will notice is that those who are farther out versus closer to their
Also
loss, it just looks so different. So can you tell us what it was like when you got home from the hospital? I know that you were living with your aunt and your uncle at the time, and you're away from your husband who was in Granada. And so that probably made it really hard. I suspect very difficult to mourn and grieve. And can you tell me what that looked like after you got home from the hospital?
being sent home from the hospital without my baby. It was hard. It was, I was depressed. I was in a dark place. I was literally in my room. I only came out when I wanted to use the washroom, when I had to eat something, or if I get a package or something, but I was just in my room.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't say anything. All I wanted to do at the time was speak to my husband.
Yeah.
And we spoke as often as possible. Other times, just laid in bed, hoping and praying that this was just a dream and I need to wake up,
Yeah.
or probably I'll hear that he's alive, a miracle has taken place, or he just wasn't dead. He was alive. He was okay because I saw him. He was perfect in body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was dark.
It is very dark. Those because you are
Yeah,
I think your body is still in
my
shock.
body is still in shock. And I'm telling myself, I'm saying, my God, you set me up. You set me up really bad. You set me up because everything fell into place. Everything was
Mm.
okay. Everything was good. But you set me up.
Yeah.
You set me up.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like God set me up.
Yeah.
He helped me to get through it. Everything from bad morning sickness to losing weight, not being able to attend work.
Mhm.
Now finally feeling better. Baby is growing well and everything. The last time I checked and I saw him.
Yeah.
And now at the end, it's like, God, you really set me up.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. Like you're like yeah, the rug pulled out of your underneath your feet. It
Yeah,
feels yeah, it feels so not fair and it is hard.
not fair. I
It,
did everything.
yeah. I suspect your aunt and uncle and also the rest of your family that was in New York were very concerned about you because they want you they want you to be happy, right? They like family members always just want to make it right or they want to make you happy. But that I mean, obviously we need to mourn, we need to grieve. But were they concerned about you? Did they try and help you get out of that dark place that first little bit?
Oh yes, my aunt actually, she came into the barge into the room one day, just being herself. She was like, Shamix, I know this is hard. And you know I don't cry, but I cried for you because I felt your pain. I cannot continue to see you like this. Let's go out. We
Mhm.
need to go out. And my other aunt came in and she was like, Charmaine, I'm so sorry. Everyone, we were all excited and waiting to see him and to have him. It didn't turn out the way we want, but you can't stay like this. We have to go out. Let's go shopping. They know I like ice cream, so like, let's go get ice cream. Let's go out.
Yeah.
And they know I love retail therapy. I can shop. She's like, let's go out. We need to go out. So that day, I dragged myself, took a bath, dressed, and we went out. It was a quiet drive. It was a quiet shopping, but we went out.
Yeah.
That weekend, we went up here, Pennsylvania, and we spent a week in my aunt's house up there. So, and we went shopping because you know I like shopping. So
Mhm.
she, they tried. They really tried.
Yeah.
She'll always come over. How you doing today? Make something in the kitchen because she loves to cook.
Mhm.
She'll make something and she'll bring, oh, Shamix, I tried this. You want some of this? And anything just to get me to smile, just to get me to speak, just to get me to move. She's like, come over. I needed to come over.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm coming and tried.
One of the things that you mentioned a couple things is that sometimes somebody that is grieving, they can't you cannot physically grieve that much. Like it really can put you in a dark place, and for them to essentially change up the environment for you on a couple
Meant,
of occasions
yeah,
was it sounds like it was helpful, even though you were still sad. It wasn't like you were not missing your son anymore,
yeah,
but your brain needs a break. Your heart needs a break sometimes from crying so much, I think.
yes,
So
yeah.
that was
Because
nice
I
of
remember
them.
at the point in time in the hospital, I remember they came and they checked. They said, your eyes, is it hurting? Or your chest, are you getting any
Mhm.
pains or anything like that? Or no, like something wrong with your vision or anything? I guess it was just checking just to make sure I'm good after the blood. And I was like, my eyes, like every time I open it, I can't see properly.
Yeah.
And I put up my phone and I realized why I can't see properly is because my eyes were swollen because I
Yeah.
was crying all the time. And I just chuckled. I said, oh my God, I can't believe I asked for that. And it was just my eyes being swollen from crying.
Yeah. Yeah. And your body needs a break sometimes. And yeah.
So that is true. So the body needs a break. So they decided to get me out of the house
Yeah.
as often as possible
Yeah.
at the beginning. And as the days went by, I took it on myself. I said, okay, I'm going to take a walk along the block, the walk that I did when I was trying to induce labor, just to,
Yeah.
honor him. I felt like that's a good way to honor him, just to walk the path that I took.
Yeah. I
And
like
I,
that a
I
lot.
did that a couple times.
Mhm.
I went to the mall and did some retail shopping more than I should, but
Sometimes it's okay.
I
Sometimes it's
had to get
okay.
out.
Yeah. And I do think that is one of the best pieces of advice that I got early on. One of the people that we actually interviewed, she just said they ended up going out of the country and helping. They did like a humanitarian mission like a
Oh,
month
that's
after they had their
awesome.
baby. And she's like, it was really nice just to have a change of scenery. Like we were in a different area and I had to get out of my own head. And she was still so sad, obviously. But
Of
she was
course.
like, it was so helpful to just have a change of scenery. Like your aunt took you to her home in Pennsylvania. Like
Yeah,
that even
yeah,
change of scenery
different
is a big deal.
scenery. So no New York, we're somewhere else.
Yep.
Nice and quiet, and
hmm
scenery was really good.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. The air was nice and crisp.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really, really good.
That's good. And when your husband, so I know you talk to your husband a lot. Do you, how was he taking the loss? Because he never met your son, right? He never was able to meet his son. And so, have you talked to him about how he is processing his grief?
We did spoke about it a couple times. I'll ask, babe, are you okay? How are you feeling? We should speak about it. And then we did speak, and he said the night when he got that message from my aunt, you remember, he cried, and it's something he don't do, but he cried. He
Yeah.
said he was in disbelief also because like
Oh yeah.
you would just spoke after
Yeah.
10 you're on your way to the hospital, and
Yeah.
now so he had his moments. We had persons, I had persons like persons who knew me and knew what happened, calling
Mhm.
him to check on him, and he appreciated it, but at the same time he was grieving and wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
So I knew that he was not taking it as good as, but he worked. And I think, as I always say to him, I think you work through it, like being at work, just working and
Yeah.
working and working and working, having little time to sit and just think about it.
Mhm.
So I think he used that to help him cope. His work, just doing work, being
Yeah.
at work.
Being at work. I found that a lot of the men that my husband interviews, the way they are able to mourn is to, yes, be productive. They just
Be productive.
they
Yeah.
want to do something, and they know that there's not any way to solve it, right? Like there's no way of bringing Zai back, and so they do what they need to do by working. Like they just are like,
By
I'm gonna try
working.
and be productive, and
Yeah.
so
Because he was saying, "Oh, I'm concerned about you. I'm more concerned about you than I'm
yeah.
thinking." So I think at a point also that he was so concerned about me and how I was doing that
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
grief for him wasn't as it should because he was focusing on me and how I'm doing. So he couldn't deal with his own personal
Mm.
grieving.
Yeah. That can be tricky too for the guys because they
That can be tricky.
do want to take care of their spouse or their partner,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they put their kind of their sadness on the back burner for a little while.
On the back burner, just for you, just to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, and that can be a problem. Like
And that could
it can come up later in different
can
ways.
come up later. Exactly, in different ways.
Yeah.
But he has been going through it.
Yeah.
As he tell me, say, I'm going through it, but he thinks I'm more affected because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's one. So he didn't get to have that intimate time like I had with him when he was born.
Right. Yes, that would make me so sad too. Like just like thinking about that of like your husband didn't get a chance to
Yes,
meet him and that
didn't get a chance. And that was part of my grief also. I felt so guilty that I convinced him to say, well, yes, you're gonna go. You're gonna go and let's see if we can get better health care for you
yeah.
and baby. But at the same time, it's like I still failed because I didn't do
Yeah.
what I was supposed to do, bring him back safe,
Yeah. That's
and he didn't get to see him, didn't
yeah.
get none of that. So that was also very hard to digest.
There's just so many layers of guilt and regret on yeah, this entire situation. Did you end up going back to Granada a little bit later and were reunited with him?
Yeah,
And you're back home now, is that right?
grief.
That probably was a
Oh yes,
really hard, bittersweet.
yes. So oh yeah. So I came back month later.
Mhm.
I returned to Grenada a month later, but I wanted to do some therapy first, so I had therapy done first before returning,
Okay.
and and at the same time, I really wanted to be home. Just wanted to be home. I just wanted to be somewhere else
Mhm. Mhm.
than in a place that is constantly reminding me that, oh, we prepared this side of the bed for him, we prepared this
Yeah.
side of the house for him, and he's not there, and some of his clothes are still there. So I just felt that I needed somewhere else to be, and I
Mhm.
needed to be home with my husband. I just needed him. there physically. Because
Yeah.
although I had everyone else, I felt alone because he wasn't there to share that process with me. So
Yeah.
I stayed. I came back within a month after.
Okay. Shermika, what are some things that you found helpful to help you through this process? I know that
Yeah,
it's, once again, you still are very early and only 8
very
months
early.
out, but I know you mentioned going to therapy. I know you mentioned being with your husband physically in the same place has probably been very helpful. What are some other things that
Very early.
you feel like has been helpful, helping you just process things and understand what happened and what is helping you now?
Um, I connected to a mom that lost her baby also.
Okay.
So we speak the same language in terms of the grief, how we
Yeah.
felt,
Yes.
our story. So this has really helped in terms of going through the grieving process.
Mhm.
Just speaking to her, we'll go out, do something together.
Yeah.
So we understand each other
That is
and
great.
we understand where we're going and where we want to go. So this has really helped.
Did she
This is like
have
therapy in its own self.
Yes, yeah.
Just having somebody else who really knew and who understands. That was therapeutic.
Yeah.
Before returning, I remember I sent a picture to uh, an artist. So he
Okay.
paints.
Uh-huh.
So he painted a picture of baby's eye.
Oh.
So every day I get to look at that. And I touch it and I say, hi, baby. That is therapeutic. It's
Yeah.
like he's there.
Yeah. And what a beautiful thing to
I had his
make.
picture. Yes.
Like, the very I
I
don't know.
had his picture painted.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because you get to decorate his nursery. You get to buy his clothes. You get to you do all these things as a mom, and
Yes.
creating something like having a piece of art created of him is a way to, I think, parent him and like provide for him, if that makes any
Yes.
sense.
Exactly. And serves as a like a memorial
Mhm. Yeah.
for him. I had that done, and the day I returned, I collected it
Mm.
straight from the airport. Same day I came home. So even though I didn't come with my boy in my hand, and it wasn't that, but I had it as soon as I got off that plane
Yeah. Yeah.
in a painting.
Yep. And that's sometimes as good as you can get in this
Ah,
situation.
that's as good as it can get.
Yeah. Any other things that you feel like has helped?
Work. I
Work.
returned to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I spent a week home after returning,
Mhm.
and I went back to work and just doing something, getting
Mm.
something to distract me.
Yes.
It really helps. So I have something else to concentrate on now.
Yeah.
Lessons to plan, I have activities to plan, and have some precious, perfect children again to take care of and to ensure that they are shown love and they feel that they're loved.
Yeah.
So I had something else to work towards. They're not mine physically,
Yes.
but they're mine for the day.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I look forward for it to it every day.
That is
Work
wonderful.
work really help.
And once again, I like to reiterate that your brain needs time to focus on something different. It cannot grieve 24/7. It's exhausting.
It's
It's
gonna send you
just
crazy.
Yes,
Hmm.
yeah.
So I needed
And
something else.
yeah. And sometimes work is a good place to do that, and especially when you have littles that you are looking after as well.
Yeah. I thought at first that it's gonna be hard. Just
Mm,
seeing them, knowing that I don't
yeah.
have minds, but just seeing them, oh, they're mine for the day.
What
They're
what
mine
a
for the day,
what a
so
great perspective.
I enjoy every moment. Yeah, I enjoy every moment. They're fun, they're loving, they're so innocent,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
sweet. I remember one student said, "Teacher, I like you." I said, "I love you." So
That is
sweet.
so sweet. Yes.
So, so sweet.
Little children. They're
So
love them.
perfect.
Sharmika, what are some things that you thought were a little less helpful? Like things that maybe others have done or said or you're like, this didn't work for me. Is there anything that was not as helpful in this grief process for you? At least right now, because some things
Sure.
might be different later,
Um,
but yeah.
at first, when I returned, I remember someone saying, "Oh, don't worry, you're young still. You can have another."
Yeah.
I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I wanted this one,
Yeah. I was planning on this one.
this one, this
Ye-
one.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one said, "Well, don't stay too long. Try soon."
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and also somebody else said, "Oh, your tummy's so high still."
Oh, somebody said that? Wow. Yeah. Not helpful. Doesn't make you feel great, everybody. Don't say that.
Not, not. It's like, okay, my body, because my body is going through something.
Yes. Yes.
I have to give my body time. It's just what returned in May
Yeah.
to like June, just a month and some now. What do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
So these comments were not helpful
Yeah.
at all.
They just make
Don't
you
tell me. It
yeah.
just make you feel like bad. It bring you back to everything that is like, oh, your tummy's still high. So it's like,
Mhm. Yep.
guess I just had a baby.
Yeah. I always
Fortunately, it's
I know I
high.
was like
Like,
my body will look pregnant for some time even though I just yeah, gave birth to a baby.
exactly.
So, yeah, some of those comments are not helpful.
They're
They
not.
just they are maybe well-intentioned or they want people you want to help you move along so that you can have
They
another
want
baby
to help
or
you move along.
but
Yes,
it doesn't help when it's so quickly after because it just doesn't
it does.
it
It
feels
just triggers you. Just
yeah.
bring her right back.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you tell me you're young, you could have another. Like, I wanted this one.
Mhm.
This one I wanted.
Yeah. You struggled for him, in fact. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was tough. Tough
Yeah.
on my body, tough on my mind. It was tough. I did everything, the sacrifice just to
Yeah.
leave to go over there. That sacrifice was such a big one. So
It was.
don't tell me I could try for another.
Mhm.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, while going through that, I remember saying, "Babe, I think that's gonna be my one and only because I
Oh,
don't think I can go through this again.
yeah.
This is too rough."
Yeah.
Literally, one day he had to bathe me. I couldn't even shower. I was
Yeah.
so weak. I was like, that's it. One and done.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
I know. Like the prospect of yeah, getting that sick again is probably really discouraging on top of the fact that you lost your baby. You know, like there's
yeah,
yeah. Some of the comments are not helpful people is all is
they're
all we're
not.
saying.
They're not. Just follow the word still. Just still.
Yeah.
Just be still.
Yeah.
You have to calm and just be quiet. Just look at me, give me a hug, and just don't say anything.
Yeah.
That's fine. That'll be really good. That also helped.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the hospital, everybody was like just silent. And nobody wasn't in my head saying, "Oh, oh gosh, this didn't happen, or we could have done this, or probably we should blame the
Yeah.
doctors." Nothing like that was done. We were just being quiet. And I really loved that and I
Mm,
appreciated that.
yeah.
And sometimes being quiet is just enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and there's something implied by what you said being quiet. That means that you're there
You're
and
there.
you're there
I'm
and you're
here with
not.
you. I'm
Yeah.
here with you.
Yeah.
I'm here
And
with you.
and that is
That
that
is
means
just
the
enough.
world to people. Like when you just show up and are there. And like you said, you don't need to say anything a lot of times. Most of the time, you don't need to say anything. You can just be there and that is
Most of the
so
times, you
comforting.
don't have to say anything. Just you being there is sufficient. It's
Mm-hmm.
enough.
It's enough. Yeah.
It speaks more than you speaking.
Yeah. Exactly. Shermika, I wanted to circle back real quick about you did a little bit of therapy before you came back home to Grenada. Is there anything that you found to be helpful that the therapist, in your discussion with the therapist, did you find anything that was helpful that might be helpful to somebody here?
Yes. Just speaking about it.
Mm,
Sometimes.
yes.
Sometimes you have to be quiet, and sometimes you have to speak just to let go of some of that weight,
Yeah.
just to let it off without anybody adding or taking out or
Mm,
judging. So
yeah.
you say exactly how you feel,
Yeah.
why you feel that way.
That
It
is
helps
good.
to get some things off your chest. If you feel like you're the one to blame, you can say that out loud without
Mm-hmm.
that person having to say, no, 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 don't blame yourself. But just that person just being there to listen.
Yeah.
So having a therapist is good, is excellent. Just to speak, just to let go of some things, just to show some emotions that you have not shown. Probably at
Yeah.
home, probably might show up one day and you're angry and you put it, use that
Ye-
frustration
Yeah.
on that therapist. They understand
Yeah. And they're there to listen to you.
and they're there to listen exactly.
Yeah.
They
And like
don't
you s
judge.
and don't judge. I love the way you said it. They're like, everybody when you're talking to other people, they add in their thing. They're like, "Oh, no, no, no. It
Yeah.
wasn't this," or, "Oh, you're" the fact that the therapist is there to be almost a blank
Yeah.
canvas to let you just be able to
Mhm.
splash all your emotions out there, and that I think that's part of the processing. It's like you need to
That is
understand,
part of processing.
like, what happened
It
to you,
is.
right?
Mhm.
So I think that's wonderful that you were able to get into a therapist because getting into therapist sometimes is
Oh,
really hard.
yes. I kept telling myself, God, even though it felt like you set me up, you're still in this because things are still working
Yeah,
very well.
yeah.
Because I saw two therapists, honestly.
Oh wow, that's amazing! Like that you were
Yes,
able
one
to.
did virtually, and one I went to.
Oh
Yes, he worked things out really good. He took care of me.
yeah, yeah,
Baby Zai, and because Zai was a blessing. He is a blessing to me.
yes.
So I know that that little man is looking out for me.
I was gonna say he's protecting
I
you
need to make
still.
sure that I'm taken care of.
Hmm.
Oh, he still protects. He's
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a good one.
he protects. He's still protecting.
Yeah.
And one of his names Uriel means bring off messages to God. So
Oh,
just imagine
oh,
I'm
that's
here talking
beautiful.
and he's yeah. His names are so powerful.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Sharmika, thank you. I just can't thank you enough for the time that you've spent and been able to share some of your experience and things that have worked for you and what hasn't. I encourage all the people that are listening to this to listen to her birth episode of Zai and just hear. I am impressed with what you did and being away from your husband and it was just it was so much I have anxiety thinking about it. And so I thank you so much for sharing that and sharing your thoughts today with us and what's helped, what hasn't helped, and
Yes.
I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And one last thing I like to share or to encourage grieving moms that grief is a process. It's not a sprint to get over. It's something like a marathon with hurdles that you just go through. And there are going to be high days, there are going to be low days. And I don't think that you should sprint through it. because you're going to miss out on some things and you may end up right where you were in the beginning. So it's a marathon. Take your time. We're going through it. We're not getting over it. We are going through it.
That was beautiful. I love that analogy. Thank you. Thank you so much again, Sharmika.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.